Despite her post about embracing singleness and thirst traps on the gram, Tia Mowry seems to be having a hard time letting go of her ex-husband CORY HARDRICT, both emotionally and physically. Because soon after CORY did a sit down with Essence, reflecting on being single and outside and open to new love, Tia posted another family picture on Instagram. But this time, it looks like she was gripping CORY's wrist so hard that her veins were showing. And the fact that a picture this obvious made it to her Instagram photo dump makes you wonder if Tia was trying to send a hands-off message to whatever woman might be lurking around her ex. Because it's no secret that for a while, it seemed like Tia was pulling out all the stops to get that old thing back, even to the point of not negating the rumors about them being back together. And just weeks after he mentioned her show Quick Fix, when he called out how people in the industry operate without spiritual integrity and moral compass in order to get ahead, Tia decided to put away her crystals and started posting things about crawling back to God after trying to do things her way. But it seems like CORY didn't fall for it, because soon after, he was letting the people know he was single.
I am a single man. You know, it's no secret, and occasionally I mingle, you know what I'm saying?
Which led to Tia deleting her post, and instead, after months of silence on the rumors that she and her ex had gotten back together, finally addressed them by posting a video saying she was single in her 40s, and was soon back to featuring her relationship with industry friends like Gabrielle Union, and how the two and another friend were blending families on spring vacation together. It's giving that CORY HARDRICT must have tuned into Tia's reality show and caught all the subliminals she was sending his way. Because just a few weeks after the final episode aired, he had this to say on a podcast called Why Not Me with Mike Jackson.
You can't really trust people with your spirit and soul out here. It was always like information they want from you, or what can they get from you? And it felt like everything was that everywhere you turn. Like everything is like disingenuous. Like, you know, if you're not paying somebody, you know, it's like the people you're paying are the people who are enabling you. You know, no one's truthful or honest because everything's connected to something. Like if you remove that connection, who's real, Mike? Then you got two people.
That's what's
you
up.
remove the connection of nothing. You can gain or get anything from anyone out here. You're going to see who's real. I ain't with none of the fake shit, Mike. I just don't rock with it. I never have, never will. I don't care if you got money. What's money? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know, because you can't take none of this shit with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Nothing can go with you but your spirit. That's how you come in. That's how you leaving. So, you know, you got to be careful and treat people kind and treat them the way you want to be treated. You know, move with love, move with some integrity, some moral compass. I think that's missing here. There is no moral compass out here. Everything is, you know, like the quick fix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instant. Everything is instant, man.
Now, CORY said all this after the conversation had previously gone into how working in the industry will try to redefine your whole purpose in life. And in those few sentences, he touched on fake friends who align themselves with you any way they can in order to find out what's going on in your life so they can somehow work it to their advantage. He talked about the handlers who sometimes masquerade as employees that are actually being paid to enable the celebrities and capitalize on any weaknesses that they come across. And he talked about how the lures of money or someone else's concept of what success looks like lead to people going after quick fixes or instant results that have them operating without integrity or moral compass. Now, does anyone else find it interesting that before he quickly corrects himself and says instant, CORY initially used the term quick fix, which happens to be the title of Tia's YouTube channel, when he referred to how people think they need to throw away their integrity and moral compass for success in the industry. Now, people can say it was just coincidence or that it was just his familiarity with the term, but based on the timing of the interview coming right on the heels of Tia's reality show ending, it seems more like a Freudian slip. Because aside from the show being a look at Tia's journey into her next act following her choice to divorce, which people have every right to do as they grow and change and sometimes become even more unequally yoked. The problem is that Tia used this show to take several jabs at CORY. So by this time, CORY could have seen all the episodes of how she tried to imply that she hadn't been happy with her marriage for years. Could have seen the clips go around where the show revealed that early on in the marriage, Tia knew she had made a mistake when she married CORY, that she had settled for CORY and was living an illusion to give people the idea that she was in this perfect marriage. But when you recall that back in 2009, when Tia's sister Tamara had broken up with her then boyfriend Adam Housley, and Tamara ended up dating Hosea Chanchez, one of Tia's castmates from the game, the paparazzi caught up with the three of them one night and must have confused the twins because Tia had this to say.
I'm Tia, the one with the ring.
Oh.
So don't get it twisted.
Okay, Tia.
That's my sister, the one without the ring. I'm married.
Yeah, put it on the
Really? Tia, the one that's married.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
People always get it mixed up.
All right. That's funny. All you ladies.
Now, Tia seemed real quick to throw her marital status up as a prize, to the point of using it as a distinguishing factor between the twins, instead of the normal, Tamara's the one with the beauty mark. Now, maybe Tia was trying to avoid people spreading rumors about her possibly dating her co-stars, rumors that could have affected her marriage. But the way Tia came out of a bag on the paparazzi by saying she was the one with the ring, she was the one married, might hit a little differently when you realize that Tamara had allegedly just been dumped by Adam after being intimate for the first time in her life, because she thought he was going to propose while they were on vacation. So, not only was Tamara dealing with the emotional and spiritual fallout of playing herself and falling for the okie doke, but then to have her own sister seem to throw her marital status and the fact that she was the one who got the ring in her face. Basically, from that clip, you can tell that Tia's concept of success at that time was in being married, in being the one who had the ring. And in that moment, much like with the dig she took at CORY in the show, she didn't move with love and kindness or care how her words or actions made Tamara feel, as long as Tia had that immediate quick fix of establishing herself as the married one to the Paps. CORY's comments about fake friends and paid enablers even suggest that he saw how Tia let her friends and her assistant talk her into raunchy behavior in Las Vegas that is so off-brand for her, to the point where she let several strange men hump and grind on her in front of the cameras, regardless of whether their teenage son would be able to see clips of this or even be teased about it by his peers. Or CORY could have seen how Tia let her assistant bring the craft of supposedly speaking with loved ones who are gone from this world into the Christian home that he thought they were raising their children in. Or maybe CORY saw how Tia let those same people put her back on a dating app that she was dissatisfied with. And when all those things weren't bringing Tia the feelings or the success that she saw on the gram or other places, and then she told those same people that she thought she might have made a mistake in divorcing CORY, only to have an unmarried friend immediately shut that down and convince her to see this new journey through. Instead of listening and letting Tia have that time to process and think through her actions and possibly shake off the delusion of the quick fix of greener grass in the streets, and instead, she poured Tia another glass of the Kool-Aid and reminded her that Tia had been thinking about this for years and how she needed to not give up because of a few bad dates and how they would start vetting her dates for Tia. So she let them talk her out of admitting she made a mistake divorcing CORY and talk her into speed dating with total strangers and going on dates with men they picked out for her, trying so hard to buy into the industry quick fixes. And then she began to try to convince herself that it was understandable to want to be in the streets because she had never dated anyone but CORY. which she started repeating to everyone from her assistant to her long-standing friends and podcast hosts, constantly reiterating the fact that CORY was her first and she never had a chance to find out what dating was like. Possibly forgetting that a horrible dating experience is what she had come running from right before she met CORY.
You know, I've never dated.
That's right.
I've never dated. CORY was my first.
Right. Yes.
Everything.
I know.
We have to be honest, there weren't any sparks right away. And I think for me, it was because I had just gotten out of a terrible, horrible, it wasn't even a relationship. This was the first person that I had ever dated in my entire life. And it was not a good relationship. So I was extremely guarded. I was like not wanting to date, to do anything like that. My mind wasn't really to be in a relationship or part of a relationship or anything like that. I was hurt, but not.
Lying will ruin your life.
But the most recent subliminal came after CORY received all sorts of accolades for his memorable portrayal of Dallas on Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black, which streamed #1 worldwide. And CORY started making the rounds with Megan Good at his side. And on the heels of his well-earned success and being paid millions for this role, Tia used her reality show to bring in a special guest, a person who was someone who had previously defended CORY when Tia seemingly tried to sabotage his momentum in the industry before. So about 8 months before Tia filed for divorce from CORY, she published her Quick Fix episode on her YouTube channel, which featured Loretta Devine and Jack A. Harry, who had both played the role of her TV mom on their respective shows. The conversation turned to the pay gap between men and women, and Tia had...
My husband is an actor.
CORY, yeah.
CORY, Mr. CORY HARDRICT. And when he booked a role, he was getting paid more money than me. And I'm like, what? And I really think it was because he is a male.
Oh, I'm gonna speak up for CORY. He deserved it. What do you mean? You deserved it, boo. Love you, mean it.
Now you see how Jack A immediately took up for CORY and said how he deserved that? It's because Jack A recognized that contrary to what Tia was insinuating at the time, CORY had actually been putting in work on a consistent basis for years. Whether he was working side by side with A-list celebrities and blockbuster films that generated over $2.5 billion at the box office, or whether he was working on hood classics like Brotherly Love or long-running shows like Cold Case or The Chi. CORY has over 105 acting credits to his name, so contrary to the narrative that Tia tried to push, him getting paid more was a result of someone finally recognizing his hard work and recompensing him for the talent he brought to the projects. Now fast forward 2 years later, when Tia invites Jack A onto her new reality show to get related.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
And to discuss the breakdown of her marriage. And this time, Jack A implies that CORY was an out-of-work actor who was depressed, hinting that that was possibly what led to the divorce. And in addition to having someone who was seemingly a friend basically try to mislead others about his career, Tia also teased the clip of this conversation on CORY's birthday weekend. It makes you wonder if this was the fake and phony ish that CORY said he wants no part of, and finally made him ready to really move on. Because after Tia's show ended, he started making comments like this when asked about his dating life.
Yes, CORY HARDRICT is single. He is single. He is single. I wasn't outside 20 years ago, so it's like, from my personal experience, it's just like, it's scary out there in them streets, man. I'm just like, geez, this is what's going on out here, right? It's like, you know, it makes you want to go back inside, right? Going outside a little bit, I got to go back in for a little bit now. But, you know, like I said, that's just a part of the journey right now, and just, you know, relearning. Like I said, it's just like relearning myself all over again. And, you know, I'm just moving with love, and just whatever comes to me, I'm not going out and searching for anything. You know, whatever God has for me, I feel like that will be for me. And, you know, you'll know when the time is right. So, yeah, I'm single.
Do y'all think Tia saw these interviews and decided to send a message of her own to the women out there? That regardless of what CORY says about being single and ready to mingle, he will always belong to her. Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.